so it looks like we're ready to get started now. As I said previously, I'm Mike Lewis of NomadCEO.com, and I'm joined tonight by my business partner and mentor, Willie Crawford. For those of you that don't know, Willie is considered the top joint venture broker in the world. We've got a lot to cover tonight, so let's get right to it. Willie, are you on the call yet?
Yes, I'm on the call. Can you hear me?
I hear you great. Okay. Why don't you begin by telling everyone a little bit about yourself, Willie?
Sure. I've been online since 1996. Sounds like maybe there's a slight delay or something, but I've been on the internet since 1996, and I started after a 20-year military career. I actually started about 6 years before I retired from the Air Force, and so I stepped right out of uniform and into a full-time internet marketing business, and in the time since then, I've rolled out my own entire line of products ranging from an ebook all the way through to high-end coaching and workshops. I'm a seminar speaker and host. I've hosted numerous live events, spoken at numerous events in several countries. I'll be speaking in Manila, for example, in November. And I've done about everything in the internet marketing space since that time. So I feel very qualified to speak on the topic we're covering tonight.
Well, that's great. And tonight we're going to be focusing on traffic generation. Could you tell us how you originally got interested in the topic?
Sure. Several things. One was when I first came online, I was looking for a niche, and I was told that the best niche to be in is one where there's lots of demand, that the formula for success in selling online is to sell something that people want, that people are willing to pay for, and that you sell it to the people who are willing to pay for it. And I noticed from the very beginning that there were lots of people always wanting traffic. They wanted more traffic. They wanted bigger lists. They wanted more affiliates. And so it was obvious to me that if I got into the niche of selling or generating traffic, that there'd always be a demand for it. And that's why I chose that niche. And also it's been fairly profitable since then. And I bounced around some like a lot of people do online, trying to find my space, the exact thing I wanted to do. But lately I've noticed that, especially with the recession, that millions of people are being driven online to start businesses or look for jobs. And lots of those people, because they're very smart, they've decided to create their own products to sell. And one of the first things they notice is that that it's not that easy to get eyeballs on their pages, and so they roll out really nice looking products, and they're already counting their dollars, and they find out that nobody is showing up on their web pages. And so I noticed that there's just this huge void for people who know how to generate traffic and get lots of visitors to a website and can teach other people to do that. So I don't think this niche will ever go away, and it was just a natural fit for me.
Okay, well, as an apprentice JV broker myself, I'm finally starting to understand what it is you do. But would you just briefly look at the different ways of generating traffic in the three broad categories that you teach?
Sure. Yeah, we mentioned being a joint venture broker, and that's one of the things I focus on just because it's all about generating traffic. But basically there are three main ways of generating traffic, and they are: you can buy it, or you can create it, or you can borrow it. And why don't we start with buying it, if that's okay with you?
Okay, sure. You're talking about pay-per-click and things like Facebook ads, right?
Right. I'm talking about you basically are paying for each person that sees your link somewhere out there in cyberspace. And so it's displayed across networks, it's displayed on search engines, it's displayed on people's websites that agree to allow certain companies like Google AdWords to show their ad. And then when it's clicked on, that advertiser pays for it. So that's what pay-per-click is. And pay-per-click, and now we've got like Facebook ads. So if you're out bouncing around Facebook like the 600 million or so people are, you'll notice ads off to the side with pictures on them. Those are people paying for advertising on Facebook and paying for every click they get to, for the most part. So pay-per-click advertising itself can be very, very reliable, and it can also be a very economical source of traffic. I have clients who that's the only way they generate traffic is using the pay-per-click search engines, and they're very good at it. They've worked out the numbers, and so now I'm actually catching up with my slides right now. They've worked out the numbers. They know that they can spend X number of dollars, and that based on that buy, that they can expect to make so much profit. So if you know what you're doing, pay-per-click can be, I think, the best way, one of the best ways to generate traffic, because it's very homogeneous. Everybody who goes to a search engine and types in a very, say, a 3 or 4 letter phrase, they're looking for something very specific. And if that advertiser can figure out what it is they're looking for, they know exactly what to offer that person. So pay-per-click, again, can be very, very homogeneous traffic, very reliable traffic, and if you're willing to pay the price, you can have an unlimited supply of it even. But the problem is that it's very risky at the same time, because I used to teach a course called Master the Pay-per-clicks, and we taught there that you really, really, really have to know your numbers. That is, you have to know that for every $10 I spend, I'm going to make 15 or 20 or 30, and you have to know how quickly you can expect those, because you can very quickly lose a lot of money. It's very easy for someone doing pay-per-click who's not watching closely to turn on a campaign and look at it the next day and have spent literally thousands of dollars. And so it can be tricky. It can be very risky and very potentially costly. And also, back when I really, really focused on pay-per-click, I did that full-time at one point for a living, and I had people hiring me to manage their pay-per-click campaigns. And even as a professional, I had 8 out of 10 campaigns that I would set up, and that was the average, that would not be profitable. So you'd set up these campaigns based on your keywords and write an ad and create a landing page and have a display URL that was sort of enticing and all that stuff. And even then, you'd have 8 out of 10 campaigns that would be not profitable, and you'd count on the other 2 to more than make up for that. And so you'd get 2 out of 10 that were profitable, and you'd really, really, really wrap those up and just turn on the traffic for your customer. But it required a lot of work. So, it was one of those things that I was earning good money doing it, but I didn't enjoy doing it for other people. And I also, at a point, struggled with just keeping up with all the changes in the industry, because Google's forever changing its rules. And so I again looked for something else to do that I enjoyed more.
Pay-per-click today?
I do still use pay-per-click, but what I use them for is to push a lot of traffic to clients' websites when I need just a sudden surge of, again, very homogeneous traffic. Maybe I have a client that's testing, or I'm testing, a landing page, and I need 1,000 people to go through really, really quickly. And actually, that's not the easiest way to do that. The easiest way to do it is to get a joint venture partner to push that traffic through the page for you. But I do use pay-per-click for that, and I also have some smaller, some offline business owners who do generate 100% of their traffic using pay-per-click. When my clients use pay-per-click and they insist upon using it, and we have worked it out, I don't manage the pay-per-click campaign for them. I advise them on the marketing. We confirm things like they're targeting the right people and all that, but I outsource the actual traffic generation. And in fact, when I even need it for my own business, I outsource it because, again, pay-per-click is just so challenging. I've got a picture of a guy on the screen named Amkhan. I use him for most of my traffic generation, and people that want to check him out, they would go to timic.org/AM. That TIMIC stands for the Internet Marketing Inner Circle, which is a website that I run. And so timic.org/AM will put you on AM's site, and he will actually do a free analysis for you. There's a form there. You fill it out, and he will look at what keywords you're targeting, look at your market, look at if it even makes sense for you to do pay-per-clicks. And the reason I'm mentioning it here is because the analysis itself is 100% free and without obligation. It's what he does. He lives and he breathes pay-per-clicks. I don't live and breathe pay-per-clicks anymore. It's too much work for me, so I outsource it, and So again, I recommend going over and checking out AM's site if you're interested in pay-per-click. And again, when I'm looking at uh, reliable, dependable traffic, pay-per-clicks is not, an unreasonable option. It's just not a great option for your average person who's on a very limited budget and can't afford to experiment too much up front. Maybe if they lost a bunch while they were working out their numbers, they'd be out of business. So those people should not be using pay-per-click.
I think I understand. You know PayPerClick well enough that you've taught courses on it, and still you think it's best to outsource it now. Is that my understanding you correctly?
That's absolutely positively correct. And the reason is it's all about time. It's about time management. I was taught to do the thing that is the highest and best use of your time. And I was taught that if you can get someone else to do it less expensively than you can do it, that you should do that. In fact, I have on the screen here a quote by Ron LeGrand, actually, which Ron was in an interview where he used to, or I listened to Ron talk once, and he was saying, the less I do, the more I make. And he actually was in a mastermind group. So somebody would throw an idea out, and if Ron was really crazy over the idea, he didn't, start implementing the idea. He picked up the phone or he texted somebody and told them to check it out, test it out, and if it made sense, to implement it. But Ron didn't do the work himself. And I like that a lot. And my background actually is that as an undergrad, I was an economics major. I started out pre-med, switched to economics, and so I understand the time, how to compute the value of your time, and I actually place a fairly high value on my time. So to me, again, it doesn't make sense for me to spend a lot of time doing something that I could get someone else to do cheaper and that they would enjoy more, because I have friends who teach pay-per-click courses still, and that's all they do all day long is sit there with their spreadsheets and crunch numbers, and they're very, very good at it. I'm not very good at it because I don't stay on top of that anymore. I've gone off, found something that is more enjoyable, that is more profitable, and that's what I do now.
Okay, well, at the beginning you also mentioned creating traffic. What exactly is involved with that?
Sure. When I first came online, I was on a budget like a lot of people, and so I looked at what others were doing to get visitors to their website, and I dived pretty deeply actually into content creation. I noticed this guy named Jim Daniels who wrote a newsletter, and he put his own article in each issue of the newsletter. I basically copied his style, and I drifted into writing articles. Eventually, I learned to write press releases. I learned to create audios. Eventually, had started my own internet-based radio show, and now I'm getting into video because that's huge. And I create lots of viral ebooks. I'd actually like to take a minute and share with the listeners, if I may, a little bit about what's involved in content creation. Is that okay with you, Mike?
Oh, please. We'd love to hear how you create your content, Willie.
Sure.
I'm a voracious reader of what you put out there.
Yeah, you always begin with the end in mind. You ask yourself, what is it that I want my reader to do? And so while I want my articles to feel and look like informative articles, they're really sales letters. My articles are really copy, and so I'm using all the elements of good copywriting in my articles. And so I sit down and ask, what is it I want them to do? And it's usually to visit a certain web page and to take a certain action, like buy a product or join some cause or join some site or something like that. So, and then I use what's called the problem, agitate, solution formula of copywriting. And what that is you identify a problem that your product solves, and it's got to be one that your readers, your listeners, your viewers really, really care about. So even before you start writing, you've identified that purpose, which is to sell your product. And now you ask, what are some of the problems my product solves? And you want to identify the really, really painful ones that your readers care about. And once you identify those problems and you know that they really, really want to solve them, okay, then you write an article. I write an article based on the problem. I don't talk about my product. I talk about the problem. And So you describe the problem and how many people have the problem and why it's a real problem, and you agitate by, pointing out that if you don't do anything about that problem, it's not going to go away on its own. So you make the reader really want to take action to solve that problem. So you agitate it. You're pouring salt on the wound, if you will. And after you've agitated enough, then you point out a solution, or ideally, you point out numerous solutions, but you point it out where your solution, the product or service that you're offering or whatever you want to do, is the one that makes the most sense. And so that's copywriting. That's a whole art to when you tell someone what to look for in buying a certain service or product. You tell them what things to look for, and you point to those things that your product has. So you want to be honest with your readers. You want to actually take good care of them, but you at the same time want to frame your writing and your content so that it actually points out to them that your solution makes the most sense for them, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell your solution. So again, you start with the end in mind, which is to get them to buy your product. And I write articles using problem, agitate, solution, formula. And then at the end of the article, you have your resource box. So you describe, I describe what makes me qualified to recommend that solution. And after I've described that, then I give them a call to action. I tell them to go to my site for more information, or to check out the product and sign up for the free trial or something along that line. So it's problem, agitate, solution, and I tell them to take action by buying my product. That's the basic formula I use for writing articles, and I've written several thousand articles. I write press releases that I write press releases for two purposes, actually. One purpose is search engine optimization, and there your writing is really to get noticed by the search engines for your keywords. And so that's different from a press release that you write because you want the media to contact you. The press release that you write where you want the media to contact you is designed to tell just enough to entice that media contact to pick up the phone and give you a call. And so that press release needs a phone number in it that is going to be one that you're at, because I've had the media contact me before at numbers I wasn't available at and missed major interview opportunities. So again, you want to, but a press release is just, it's a who, what, when, where, how, and why type of very brief, usually one page, telling a headline, telling about something that's newsworthy, and then just very few facts, contact me for more information, and a phone number. That's all a press release is. We tend to overcomplicate it, and for the listeners who want press release examples, you just Google the word press release and you'll find them. You do want to be using press releases, though, because the news sites rank higher than regular articles typically in the search engines, or at least they do still, because Google and search engines, the reason that the latest breaking stories are going to be on the news sites and the press releases, so they usually show up at the top of the search engine results. So you do want to use press releases. The other thing is, I believe in doing the work once and then repurposing it. So as I'm writing an article, I'm thinking to myself, how can I reuse this? And I'm thinking of the other formats, which is the video and the audio and ebooks. And so I'm thinking, as I'm writing the article, okay, how can I turn this into an audio? And the easiest way in the world to do it is just to read the thing and record it as an MP3 file that you can then upload to iTunes and places like that, or just offer it to your reader as an audio. I actually upload some of mine to like Blog Talk Radio, which is the platform I use for my radio show, so that I can stream an audio of an article maybe, or something I want to get out there as a radio show, as a pre-recorded radio show. So there's a thousand ways to get it out there. For the listeners interested in using more audio, I do recommend that they use the Blog Talk Radio platform. The search engines absolutely, positively love the Blog Talk Radio show platform. So you schedule a show, and you use your keywords in the title of the show, and then you can add some keyword tags as you're putting a description up there. And this is at blogtalkradio.com. You can put a description up there, and then once you've put the description up there, you run the show, you record it, and it's there forever. And the search engines just love it. So that's a good way to get known for a certain niche for a certain expertise, which is what you're really doing with content creation. When you're writing articles, when you're creating ebooks, when you're creating videos, what you're doing is you're trying to prove to your market, to your audience, that you're the expert, that you're the go-to guy or gal on that topic, so that when they think of that subject, they think of you. And with videos, again, when I do my article, I'm thinking, how can I turn this into a video? With some videos, it's nothing more than me creating some PowerPoint slides that go along with the article, and then recording using Camtasia, just playing the slides, and as I go through the slides, reading my article, just clicking along naturally, and then recording it. And then I can upload that to YouTube and all the other major video sharing sites, and I'll rank for keywords there. I'll pull in traffic there from people who prefer watching video. The other use that I have for video is that I use it to sell directly by proving that the product is what I say it is. You know, a lot of your potential customers will read about a product on a sales page, and they'll think, well, yeah, it sounds great, but it must be harder than that, or it must be more complicated than that, or, of course, you can do it, but I can never do it. So by doing a video demonstration, you showed them that, yes, you could do it too, that it really is as easy as I say it is on the sales page. And so that'll overcome most of your objections when you're using a direct sales letter, if you just have a video that proves your point. Now, I think of all this content, of articles, of videos, as press releases, as throwing signposts out there, if you will. I'm just putting stuff out in cyberspace that my ideal customer can find, and I'm hoping that they'll stumble across it in the search engine. So that's what I think of it as. It's just it's leading traffic into my marketing funnel, and it's really nothing more than that. It's just putting signposts out there again for my audience to find. Does that make sense, Mike?
Safe to say that creating content is one of your favorite ways to get traffic?
It is, or it was at one time. Yeah, I've written thousands of articles, and so I rank for lots of keywords in lots of those articles, and I used to submit them to even hundreds of places, some of those articles. So they are scattered all over cyberspace, and if I was targeting the right keywords, I still get traffic from those, and I still rank for those. The problem is that you have to get so much stuff out there to break through the noise, depending on what niche you're in. For example, if you're in internet marketing, which is one of my niches, there are so many people targeting that niche that you have to literally write hundreds of articles and get those hundreds of articles published to even start climbing up to the top of the search engines. You know, if you get an article published and it's even listed in the search engines, but it's on page 60, your typical searcher is not going to go beyond the first couple of pages. They'll type in a keyword. They may look at all the stuff on the front page, and if something jumps out at them, they'll click through and look at that. But they're not going to dig much beyond the second or third page, and after that, they'll figure, well, what I'm looking for is not there. So if you're not on the front page of the search engines for your keywords, you're to an extent wasting your time. You're gradually gaining momentum, but it just takes so many articles to just climb that it's a very, very painful process. Now, I still write a lot of articles, actually. I'm very prolific, and I write without even having to think about it. It to me, it's like sitting across the table from a friend and explaining how to solve a problem. So even though I'm using the problem, agitate, solution formula, or something along that line, and it's copywriting, it comes natural for me. I can be sitting at a traffic light, have an idea pop into my head, and pull out my iPhone and talk an article into my phone, and when I get back to my office, type it out. So, while waiting for the light to change, I can write an article. So it's natural for me. It's not very much work for me, and I write lots of blog posts, and I'm very active on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and some of the other social media sites. So I have a lot of content out there, and it is getting me noticed, but again, it's just not the best way to get noticed. It's not the best use of my time.
We hear a lot that content is king, and is that why so many people are still focused on content generation?
That's one of the reasons. I think a bigger reason is that we come online, lots of people come online, they don't have the money to start a a business in the offline world, and so they reasoned that, well, all I need to do is start to build a website, and I'll start making money, and once I start making money, I can invest in my business. And so they think really that content generation is free traffic, and to an extent it is free traffic, but again, I mentioned that I'm an economist, and so I look at what I call the opportunity cost of doing something, and that opportunity cost is what could I have been earning with that time I spent doing all this content creation, creating all these videos and audios and podcasts and writing ebooks. And again, I went through a course by Rich Sheffrin a while back where he was talking about how to calculate the value of your time. And briefly, it was, look at the annual income you want, and then look at how many hours you're willing to work during the course of a year, and that's the minimum you need to earn per hour, and that's per productive hour, and most of us aren't very productive in most of the day. So when you do that calculation, many of us come up with, well, I need to earn several $100s per hour, and my going rate for like telephone consultations is in the hundreds of dollars range for that reason, because 90% of my time is not very productive, and if I know what, and so I have to value my time, and you have to force others to value your time too. And again, spending a lot of time writing and rewriting articles or creating videos and audios, if you're not very good at it, is not a very good use of your time. So again, I don't do a lot of content creation anymore. It's not my preferred method of traffic generation. It just takes so long to reach critical mass, and again, you really should be doing what is the highest and best use of your time. You need to value your time, and you need to protect your time, which is your most limited asset. And so again, it comes down to, even with traffic generation, looking at what's going to give you the most bang for the buck, I guess you could say.
Covered buying traffic and creating it. It sounds to me like borrowing traffic must be your favorite, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But because what you're essentially doing is you're getting other people to do all the work for you. And when I first said that and thought that, I thought, well, that sounds sort of selfish and even conniving or whatever. But if you're getting other people to do the work for you and they're being rewarded for it, and those people would not be making money maybe otherwise, you're doing them a huge favor. So it's not in any way, bad. It's a good thing. But I go out and I look for people who already have built and spent the time and energy to build large lists, to get websites noticed, and so the websites are huge and getting lots of traffic. I look for people who are famous, because they're celebrities or they are thought leaders in their niche, and those people, you see, those people already have the attention, they already have the trust of your ideal customer. So, and that's what traffic generation is really all about. It's finding those people who are your ideal customers, those people who need what you have to sell, and getting their attention, and then pointing out to them that, hey, it's over here on my site. And if you can get someone else who's already done that, who's already got their attention and gained their trust, and get those people to point all that traffic at your site, which is borrowing, that's just so much easier. What I'm actually trying to do here is I'm trying to shift the frame of mind of our listeners and our viewers. I want them to stop thinking about doing all the work yourself. I want you to start thinking about, first of all, acknowledging it's a lot of work going out and generating content and managing pay-per-clicks and all that. But imagine having all those other people, those large list owners, the big site owners, the famous people. Imagine having those people do the pay-per-click for you. Have those people do the content creation, and then have them send all that traffic to you for free. And then the only time that you ever pay them for anything is after they make you money. I mean, isn't that powerful? It's they're doing the work. There's no risk. They send you traffic, and after they make you money, then you share some of that money with them. That's huge.
You're talking about affiliate programs, right?
I am talking about affiliate programs, but I'm talking about something that I consider much bigger than most people think of when they think affiliate programs. I'm thinking joint ventures, which some people say, what's the difference between a joint venture and an affiliate program? And the answer is that usually joint venture partners are treated a little more special than a typical affiliate. But I am talking about using affiliate tracking software to track who sends you traffic and then paying them a commission when that traffic converts to a sale. But again, I'm thinking much bigger. I'm thinking of getting with an affiliate program, you're also waiting for people to come to you to find your site and sign up for your affiliate program. I'm thinking of actually going out and finding those people who are your ideal joint venture partners and courting them and then getting them to send you the traffic. So again, it's much bigger than just your typical affiliate program. And I know, with our listeners being your typical mix of online entrepreneurs, that some of them are beginners and some of them haven't created their own products and services yet. So they're thinking, you're talking about your own affiliate program, and I don't have an affiliate program. I don't even have my own product, so how do I use this? And my answer there is, may sound snide, I guess, but create your own affiliate program. Set up an affiliate program. What you do is you get to know your market. First of all, you have to know who you're selling stuff to. You have to know your market inside out, all your customers. What is it that keeps them awake at night? What are the real problems that are bothering them? Because you need to be selling them solutions to their real problems. And so what I do and what I advise all of you to do is to actually listen to your marketplace. So if you're in whatever niche, you can find like discussion forums for people who are interested in that niche. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's gardening or raising children or building a business and internet marketing or network marketing or some health issue. There are forums out there. If you just type in to Google the keyword which describes the problem plus the word forum, you'll find a forum or forums on that topic. Go there and read the post, read what people are talking about, read what people are complaining about. That tells you what problems they care enough about to hang out and discuss and complain about. Those are the problems that you want to solve. And we're talking about generating traffic, and we have now shifted to, yes, you need an affiliate program to generate traffic. And the reason you want to do that is because that lets you pay others to send you that traffic. What we're actually talking about is you sacrificing your early profits, of you letting somebody else who's doing all the work make most of the money on the front end, and then you make your money on the back end. So they send you the traffic, and then once that traffic gets to know and like and trust you, those people will buy from you, and they'll keep coming back to your site over and over and over again. So again, it's taking the easy way by letting somebody else create the traffic. And so for those of you who don't have your own products or services, you identify a pressing need or problem that you can solve with a relatively simple product, maybe just an ebook or an audio. Maybe you're hanging out on some forum that's senior citizens, and they're talking about back pains or their blood pressure or migraines or something like that, or maybe some dental problem. Creating a product can be as simple as finding an expert and interviewing them on how do you treat migraines by changing your diet or changing where and how you sleep, or changing your clothing or whatever. You find an expert, create a short audio, and now you've got a product you can sell. Or if you don't feel like doing that, you find what's called private label rights to a product, which is where somebody else has already written a product and giving you permission to put your name on it as the product creator, as the owner. So you buy the private label rights to that product. Then you do go in and you edit it to make sure it's accurate, because it is representing you in the marketplace. It's showcasing your expertise, even though it's not really your expertise. You're taking somebody else's research and you're turning it into a product. You can also buy resale rights to product, where someone's created a product and they sell you a license to resell the product, and they can put stipulations on how and where and why you can sell the product. But they have to be careful there, because there's laws against price fixing and things like that too. But you can buy these rights, these products, and then set up a very simple site. A lot of these products actually come with a site already designed, and all you got to do is hook up a PayPal or your processing link with your affiliate script, and you're in business. And what you're doing again is you're getting all these people who already have lists, who already have the attention of your ideal customer. You're saying to them, listen, I'll give you as much as 100% on the front end if you'll recommend this 10 or 20 or $30 ebook to your customers, and you let them look at it and you let them see it's a good product that will take care of their customers, and they'll send you that traffic. And the most important part of that equation, though, is when that customer comes over to you, that customer becomes a part of your database. And we're talking traffic, but actually I think building a database is more important than going after new traffic, because with a database, you can use email to reach out to your regular website visitors anytime you want to, really, with their permission, of course, and invite them back to your website. And if you built a relationship, a lot of people say it's push button money, because you just write an email talking about something they care about and maybe offer a product or service, or at least invite them back to the site, and you get the traffic back. I send newsletters out regularly from several of my sites, and as soon as the newsletter goes out, within minutes of it going out, I have traffic that's repeat visitors to my site, and those visitors all know and like and trust me. So that's extremely important. But you're building that database of not only website visitors, but visitors who are proven buyers, which is even more important, more valuable, because you know these people will buy. You do have visitors to your website that will never buy anything from you, and that's okay. But if you know you've got people who coming back to your site all the time who have a propensity to buy, that's even better. So you want to build a database of buyers. And again, we need to keep our goal in mind, and that goal is to get eyeballs on your page. And I was answering, actually, I went off on a tangent, but I was answering the objection that I can hear, which is, but I don't have my own affiliate program. In fact, a lot of people say, well, suppose I'm an affiliate marketer. That's fine. What you're doing is you're an affiliate marketer, say, who hasn't built a list yet, and who isn't well known yet, and who doesn't have a lot of traffic yet to your website. By creating a product, you can get others to send you the traffic that they come in and they buy the product from your affiliate. Your affiliate gets paid, and that traffic is redirected to your website, where you can then point those visitors to your affiliate product, to some product you're trying to sell for somebody else. I do that. I've done that before. And so, the thank you page just says, here's something else I recommend, or the follow-up email just says, here's something else I recommend, or the download link to the product itself is across the top of a page, and you make it very noticeable. But as soon as they finish downloading the product, there's a little blurb that says, before you go, please take a look at this or whatever, and you lead them right into a sales pitch for your affiliate product you're trying to sell. In fact, if you do it right, it'll feel like you could even pull your merchant's page into your site using what's called iframes, where basically their page is shows up on your site even though it's on their site. It's just displayed inside your page. That's getting a little technical, but it lets you make the whole process very seamless. Of somebody else sending you traffic so that you can sell someone else's affiliate product. And all you've got to do is create a very simple, inexpensive product that's almost an impulse buy. Lots of people will be happy to sell you your product, especially if you set up your affiliate program where it pays instant commission. That's another one of my likes, is a lot of people, are money's tight for them, and they want instant commission. They want to get paid as soon as practical. So set up your affiliate program to pay instant commissions, and I think you'll get a lot of traffic to your website and to affiliate offers. So that's one that I really like.
That's very creative, and I know you've done it. But if myself or someone with less experience than you wanted to do it, do you have any tips on what we should try to avoid?
Yeah, I mean, you want to make sure that you're selling a product that people actually want, because that's the biggest thing I see. Is I see too many copycats who they see products they think, first of all, are selling that aren't selling. You can't really. The only proof you have that a product's selling is that you see the actual sales. So before I even created my own product, I would probably actually push a little bit of traffic to a similar product, and if it's sold, that told me the market wanted that product. But that's the hard part, is just identifying what people want, what problems they're willing to pay to have solved. And I guess the easiest way to do that is to type in your keyword for the problem, and then look on the right side of your page on Google, and if you see a lot of ads displayed, those are pay-per-click ads. That means somebody is paying to advertise a solution to that problem. So that tells me they wouldn't be spending the money to advertise a product, paying to advertise a product, unless they were making money from it, theoretically. So that's a good indication that you've got a good idea for a product. If you see lots of ads off on the right side of the page, it's probably good to go ahead and set up an affiliate program. And my favorite script for running an affiliate program is Rapid Action Profit, because it lets you just tie right directly into a PayPal account, and anybody with a PayPal account can sign up as an affiliate and start sending you traffic instantly. And then you can, on the back end, email all those customers right from that script if you choose to. So it's called Rapid Action Profit. It's very powerful.
Well, that's a fantastic way to get free traffic. But you and I do something that's a little more profitable, don't we? We sort of act as traffic managers or joint venture brokers. Do you want to explain that?
Sure. A traffic manager or a joint venture broker is really just a middleman. Knowing that millions of webmasters are out there looking for traffic, and that thousands, and I do mean literally thousands of new people are coming online. Again, very smart people who have some knowledge, some skills, some product or service that they know the market wants, and they create this product, and then they're totally shocked when they can't sell it. They can't get enough people to notice it, and so very good products just literally die on the vine before anybody even sees the product. Now, that's why you see so many free pieces of software in shareware sites and freeware sites where you can download the software, and if you think it's useful to you, they ask you to give a contribution or whatever. It's because those programmers typically, either they like just getting noticed, or they couldn't sell the product, and so they figured rather than just letting it go to waste, why not just put it on a shareware site? So it's, to me, it's actually easier. I think it's easier for the average person to create a product than it is for them to sell a product, because you've got to get traffic, you've got to get it noticed. And since the average person is not very good at generating traffic or convincing other people to send them traffic, I and you as a joint venture broker, our job is to connect that product owner with the owner of the traffic. We find those people who have all the traffic, who already have the trust and the attention, and we court them, and we convince them to send that traffic. We convince them it's in their best interest to send that traffic over to our clients' websites, and we do that for a commission. I typically earn 10% commission. Sometimes I charge an upfront fee. Usually I charge an upfront fee, but if I have a product that's like really, really, really good and the sales process is totally refined and all I've got to do is make a couple connections, then I'll settle for the 10%. But it's huge, because there's just so many people out there with really, really, really good products. I mean, I get contacted by them all the time, and they're saying, can you help me to get my product into the marketplace? And I can't actually even help most of those people. I can help them, but I don't have the time. I'm only one person, and so I say no to 95% of them, and which is sad, because there aren't that many people who know how to do what I do. But I earn 10%. So if I can help that person with a brand new product, maybe to roll it out into the marketplace and help them to make like an extra, say, $3 million in sales, again, we talked about I typically charge 10%. Well, that's not too shabby. You can do the math there. But what we do is we help people who don't have the products, don't have the list or the traffic to connect with other people, and a lot of them just aren't very good at connecting with people. I don't know many people. They're not well known, and us joint venture brokers, some of us, we are well known, or we have a knack for getting known, getting noticed. We know how to reach the right people. So our job is to help that client to get someone to promote their product, and for that, even if it's a smaller launch, I like big numbers. I stack the deck because I'm very good at what I do, and given that the marketplace has thousands, tens of thousands of people looking to launch products, I want to go for the ones that have the 7-figure potential or high 6-figure potential. But even smaller joint ventures, something that's going to do $100,000 or $200,000, if you're getting 10%, and it's only going to take a little bit of work, I think it's still probably a very good month or week's work, to consider being a joint venture broker. And to me, it's just a no-brainer. It's something I really, really enjoy doing.
I'm sure that now all the people on the call have one question. They want to know how they can be a joint venture broker too. Aren't you afraid of creating competition for yourself?
Yeah, if I had the scarcity mindset, I suppose I would feel that I was creating competition for myself because um, if I were worried about there not being enough people looking for joint venture brokers or the best joint ventures, certainly I would be creating competition for myself. But there's literally tens of thousands of people out there creating products, and the world, our economy is in this massive shift where people are going online and selling more products on the internet. And so that's not going to let up anytime soon. I mean, you go through all these major shifts, from the industrial age to whatever, the information age, and we're just going through a shift now where people are going on the internet, something that wasn't even there 50 years ago. And it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And a lot of those people are shocked when they create a product and they can't figure out how to sell it. So um, I don't worry about creating the competition because there's just so much business out there, and also it's not as easy as it sounds. If it were that easy, then everybody and his brother would quit what they're doing and become a joint venture broker. So there must be more to it than that. And while it's not really, really tough to do, there is a shortage of capable joint venture brokers. In fact, you and I were on a cruise back in January, and while I was on the cruise, I had I think it was 6 people ask me about brokering joint ventures, but I even had some very big names put out the word they were looking for joint venture brokers, like the Glacier Kennedy Group was looking for somebody who could help them to make more sales. And this is an organization that teaches sales and marketing, and they're saying, we're looking for a capable individual to be our affiliate relations manager or whatever, somebody who can find and recruit and motivate people to help sell our products. So even the best of the best is looking for more people like that. So I don't think I'm creating competition for myself. And the other part of the question was, how do you become a joint venture broker? I became a joint venture broker sort of by stumbling into it. But today, you really do want to get it refined because there's so many people looking for. Well, actually, the problem right now is there's so many people who need joint venture brokers that the competition is really, really fierce for getting the attention of the large list owners and the people with the busy website, the thought leaders. And so you really need to hone your skill at tracking down these ideal joint venture partners. And then after you track them down, contacting them in the right way, in the way they want to be contacted. And they actually have to be courted because they often have big egos. They know some of them get approached dozens of times a day, and on average probably dozens of times a week, but they get hounded by people asking them to do mailings for them to promote their products and services. So they sort of shut most people out, and it takes somebody with the right know-how to get through to them, first of all, to even get these super affiliates, if you will, to agree to look at a product, and then you've got to convince them that it's in their best interest to promote that product over competing products, and it's in their best interest to promote your client's product over rolling out one of their own products. Because a lot of these guys, if they're successful enough that they've built a huge database and have a busy website and they're well known, they could go out and hire a programmer or a graphic artist or a videographer to create a product that's similar to the one that your client has, and you've got to convince them that your client's product is better for them, in their better interest to promote. And then it's actually fairly easy at times for certain people to get people to agree to even sign up as an affiliate, but to get them to actually follow through and effectively promote the product, that's a skill that a joint venture broker also brings to bear. And that's one of the things that makes them extremely, extremely valuable to a potential client. So, being a joint venture broker is a lot more involved than, most people would think it is. It takes a lot of skill, and it's a skill that you have to you start out developing, and then you hone and you refine and you keep practicing, and ideally you practice it under the watchful eye of a mentor. And it's a skill that's priceless, because I don't think the need will ever go away for somebody who can connect a product owner with people who can sell more of that product, online or offline. And when we talk joint ventures, I mentioned, or you may have mentioned Sohail earlier. He has done more joint ventures in the offline world, but I also am very active in, like, my local Glacier Kennedy group. I'm active in my local Chamber of Commerce, and so I do joint ventures with local businesses too, and I connect people in the brick and mortar, or the real world, if you will, and I don't see the need as ever going away. So it's huge. So, and yeah, I'm very big on it.
I know after really struggling online that my life has totally changed since I started to learn and practice joint venture brokering with you. And now you and Sohail Khan are getting ready to teach other people to apprentice under you. What kind of training are you guys going to give the other JV brokers?
Sure.
Could you tell us a little bit about what you two are up to?
Yeah, I call it total immersion training. I mentioned earlier that I come from a military background, and all of the things I learned as an aviator, for example, was total immersion training, where all you focused on for an intense period of time was that one thing, and you learned it over and over and over again under the watchful eyes of an instructor, and then you did it under the watchful eyes of an instructor, and then you were tested before you were certified as, being fully trained and ready to go out into the world on your own as before you were blessed and sent out as a real world expert. And as I look at the training that's offered online for a lot of things, I see the total immersion concept is lacking. So people go through a lot of different types of training, and they don't feel like they really know how to do it. And so Sohail and we said, why don't we fix this problem? We've been generating 6-, 7-figure deals for a long time. We know how to do it. Why don't we teach other people how to do it? But to let them feel comfortable and confident that they can do it, why don't we actually sit them down in a classroom for 5 days, Monday through Friday, from like 8:30 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, and all day, every day, all we do is look at what it really takes to be a joint venture broker, from the very early phases of putting together a joint venture, where you're looking at, first of all, verifying the product even is in demand by the market, and then looking at, how big is the demand, and all those things, and then making sure that the client has all the right pieces in place, and then looking at all the tools and the tactics and the contracts and the software, looking at case studies of people who've actually done joint ventures or done product launches, so that the broker learns, what does and what doesn't work based on experience. So, we totally immerse the student in what it means to be a joint venture broker, what has and what hasn't worked, and then they get to practice it and in the classroom with us. And I'm thinking that the synergy in the room will also be something that they'll feed on, because some of the people who will be in this class, which it's in May, it's May 2nd through the 6th, and it's in Atlanta, Georgia. Some of the people who will be in the workshop will be people who are actually already affiliate managers or JV relations managers or people like that. So they will be sharing their experiences as affiliate managers or as JV brokers with the class, at the same time that I and Sohail and you too, Mike, will be sharing your experiences putting together large joint ventures, what things can go wrong, what things can go right, what you need to do. And I think one of the most important things that I see, one of the biggest mistakes I see people making as they roll out products online right now, is they don't have a plan. I think you need a comprehensive plan that goes from way pre-launch all the way through, every step of the way, what you're going to do. And again, that goes back to my military training, where if you were going to fly, before you flew, you checked everything from the weather to how much fuel to how strong the runway was at the place you were going to land. You knew everything in your operating environment, and you planned it out, and you floated out on a sheet of paper. I think with the product launch, you need to do the same thing. You need to know how many affiliates and how many potential buyers there are, and who those people are and how you get in touch with them and when you need to get in touch with them, and all about setting up the right types of systems, the websites and the landing pages and squeeze pages and all that stuff that a lot of it you wouldn't do yourself as a JV broker, but you'd make sure your client had all those parts and pieces in place, and you'd have it all flowed out on a timeline for your client, so your client has a realistic picture of what can be done when. So when they approach JV partners, they've got their act together. Because if a JV broker approaches a client and that client or a potential JV and they can tell that you don't have your act together, that may be your only shot at getting a really big player to come on board and help promote a product. So it's really, really important that the client and the joint venture broker have it together. So again, I'm just emphasizing there the importance of having a really, really good plan, before you even start to try to launch a product via a joint venture. So yes, I'm looking forward to actually teaching and training and certifying some people in joint venture brokering, again, May 2nd through 6th in Atlanta.
The website is thejvacademy.com/Atlanta1.
That's correct.
That's where we can get more information, yeah. You mentioned earlier when you and I were talking before the program, you mentioned that you were going to be willing to do some significant hand-holding after this class. Could you let the people know what's involved with that?
Sure. I realize that this is a very complex and involved process, and that most people, even after going through the training, a full week of training, won't feel totally comfortable going off on their own and just doing it. So each of the students who doesn't bring their own project to the training will be handed a project, which is a project that I've already looked over and verified that it has the potential to be a very lucrative product launch, and I reject 90% of them. But the students who don't come with their own products or with the client's products, and they need a product to...
Willie, could you repeat what you just said? We had a lot of noise on the line. Could you go back a couple sentences and repeat again about what it is that you'll give people that don't have their own product already that they're working on?
Sure. We'll hand each student who doesn't bring his own project a joint venture deal that I've already looked over and verified the profit potential in. So each student will leave the workshop actually already working on a joint venture and already earning that lucrative 10% commission. We'll hand you a project to work where you'll get the commission. So you go to the workshop and you leave it already being a joint venture broker. So this is not a workshop where you learn a bunch of theory and then you take your binders and your lesson plans back home and stick them on the shelf. We're not looking for dreamers. We're looking for people who actually want to jump in and start doing the work. So this workshop is one where you don't just stop and think about what you've learned. You start doing it right away. And again, us instructors will be there to help you with any problems you encounter and to step you through the process. But we're looking for people. We're totally invested in your success. We insist upon you being willing and ready to do what it takes to.
That's incredible. So basically what you're doing is handing each one of your students the opportunity to make 5, 6, or even 7 figures doing a launch of their own. That sounds like a great concept and a great way to learn.
Absolutely. We'll hand them a joint venture that my personal experience tells me should do easily hundreds of thousands in sales, if not millions. And there's a lot of these deals out there. Dozens of people come to me all the time with these deals. So I'm picking the best. I'm picking the low-hanging fruit. I don't believe in taking on projects that aren't going to be very profitable. And I'm handing them to my students and saying, here, you work them. And so I know that the students will be successful. And I'm stacking the deck in favor of my students. And there's no reason not to when you've got so many great deals out there just begging for someone who knows what they're doing to take them on.
That's an amazingly generous offer, and I do know how valuable it is being able to pick up the phone when I need a little bit of help and how much it's meant to me. We're right at 10 o'clock now, Willie. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. You've showed our listeners absolutely the easiest way to get endless supplies of free website traffic. It's just amazing that you can get other people to send those to you. Then you stepped it up a notch and showed them, how you and I do it, which is really, as middlemen, and even though it's simple, it is hard to do. But you know, with the education you've given me, I'm very confident that it's the way I'm going to be making a living. This is just great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I do. It's what I enjoy doing. I'd much rather connect two or three connect a product owner with a bunch of people who sell their product and earn a percentage commission than to have to go out and build my list and generate the traffic, even though I have list and traffic. So I'm looking for just 15 people. If you guys are still on the call, I encourage you to go over and look at the jvacademy.com/Atlanta1. That's thejvacademy.com/Atlanta and the number 1. And go ahead and sign up there if you're at all interested in this training, because, again, I only have room in the workshop for 15 apprentices, and I plan on really working closely with these apprentices. I don't anticipate ever doing this training again. I mean, I may end up doing it, but I don't plan on it because I'm at the point in my life where I want to spend more time with family, with my grandkids, and traveling for pleasure. And I only need to do 1 or 2 joint ventures a year, really, to have a very comfortable lifestyle. So I just want to teach some people a trade that works, that's easy, that makes sense, and that solves a very real problem in the marketplace, because so many people cannot get their product out there and get enough people promoting it. And if I teach you what I do, then we'll leverage me, basically, and you'll earn a nice living from it, and I'll earn a nice living from even teaching you. So go ahead and sign up at thejvacademy.com/Atlanta. If you have any questions at all, there's a link down at the bottom of the page where you can click on and submit the question to me. I don't mind picking up the phone and talking to you, but I do encourage you to go ahead and decide to get signed up now, because those slots are going to fill up fast, because we're handing you 6 figures over the next few months or so if you take that joint venture project we hand you, and with my guidance, just do it. So you know, there's no reason not to.
Well, I know for me the most amazing part of the phone call is your offer, if anyone is really serious, to actually take time out of your busy schedule and get on the phone and answer any questions they might have, or really go in depth in explaining what's going to be involved with the class. I don't believe I've seen any other of the leaders in the industry that would actually take the time one-on-one to make sure the class is a good fit for the person that's thinking about doing it. And I know I really appreciate that. I believe all of my people on the call do too, Willie. It's really something special.
Yeah, it's actually letting me leave a legacy. I'm creating some joint venture brokers that can actually get lots of sales for their clients, and they can make lots of money. And you know, someday they'll be saying that I trained them. So you know, if anything, that the ego maybe comes into play. But I'm teaching people a real skill, and I'm insisting that they go out and use that skill as soon as I teach them. So it's a very good use of my time too, because I know they're going to use what I teach them. I know they're going to be successful. And so if you're all thinking about it, go ahead and get signed up before all 15 of those slots fill up. And I look forward to seeing you in Atlanta and working with you afterwards on actually rolling out either your own project or one of your clients' projects.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Willie. We really appreciate it, and I look forward to being there in Atlanta with you. It should be a real special event.
Thank you, Mike. I'm looking forward to seeing you too. Take care, everyone.